What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so earlier today it was announced that Michael Jordan, considered by most the greatest player the game has ever seen, or at least the greatest living basketball player for those who have any common sense, would come back and will come back as an analyst or special contributor for the 2025-26 inaugural season of the NBA on NBC. Of course, for those of us who grew up watching basketball in the 1990s, that, of course, is very nostalgic, and I think it's a great strategic move on both NBC and Michael Jordan's part. And one of the things I was thinking about is, you wonder why certain things are done. And obviously it's for the fact that between 1990 and 2002, when the NBA was coming on that network, of course, the first things you think about is Round Ball Rock, the song, which they're going to be bringing back. Salute to John Test for coming up with that great jingle, iconic jingle. But the second thing you think about after Round Ball Rock, when you think of the 1990s, you think of the Chicago Bulls, and you think of Michael Jordan. And of course, during that decade, the Bulls won 6 NBA championships, and most of us believe had Michael never retired, it would have won at least 7 or 8. But another thing popped into my mind, and that is, could this be the very first real, true beginnings of the end of the LeBron era? And the reason why I say this is I can't, if you're going to bring Michael Jordan back as a special contributor, first of all, you're not going to tell Michael Jordan what he can say, how he's supposed to say something. It's Michael fucking Jordan, okay? Nobody's going to sit there and try to out-talk him when it comes to basketball. No one's going to come to him and try to tell him to mind the game. And I think he sees some of the agenda that's out there by some of these clowns, purposely bad-mouthing the NBA from a historical standpoint up until their era, saying ridiculous things like, if this guy was playing in the 70s, he would score 250 points in a game. One-on-one basketball isn't real basketball, just because that's a weakness of your game. Poo-pooing and bad-mouthing the 90s as not a really good brand of basketball, as he told Steve Nash. Y'all know who I'm talking about, but I won't say his name in this particular video. I think that shows that Michael Jordan definitely, even though he's quiet and has been a recluse as of late, relatively speaking, not that he doesn't go out and about, but reclusive as far as media attention is concerned, he definitely sees what's out there. And I can't help but think that some of that is the motivation as far as going to NBC, which is not affiliated with ESPN, which is not affiliated with Disney, and not affiliated with the La Media. See, I think this is the first time that we're going to see basketball talk that hasn't been poisoned by clutch media. No agendas here, just basketball talk. And hopefully we'll get back to an appreciation of the game, of the team sport itself, and the history of basketball. More of an appreciation of the history of basketball. Let's cherish George Mikan. Let's cherish Bob Pettit, who's still alive, by the way. 92, Two, let's cherish the late great Elgin Baylor and Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem while he's still here, Magic and Larry. Not saying that they're better, but you force us to defend them and shit on you when you constantly go on your podcast and say that era sucked. They're a bunch of plumbers. They're a bunch of firemen. They're a bunch of, menial workers. Oh, they had to get off-season jobs because they sucked. First of all, you tell the survivors of 9/11 the worth of firemen and policemen. I'll take one of them over 500 of you overpaid Meta Ball or Meta Gala attending, fingernail painting, hair twisting, rouge wearing weirdos any day of the motherfucking week. Wouldn't it be great, and hopefully it will be great, to see basketball being talked and not have that guy's name brought up every other segment? Wouldn't it be great to see someone have an accomplishment and they talk about it in the game and not have some weird attachment where somehow his accomplishment, it gets attached to something that he did to belittle what he just did? And yes, I do believe that the NBA and the powers to be are preparing for the post-LeBron era. It's coming. The guys that have been dominating the sport for so long, you see it. LeBron out in the first round. KD didn't even make the postseason. Steph Curry in the second round, technically, but he's hurt. Dame Lillard. Man, we may have saw the last of Dame Lillard as far as how we remember him. And that might play a factor into whether or not Giannis actually does leave. D Wade, long gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the guys from the 2000s and 2000 teens. Chris Bosh, long gone in the Hall of Fame. These guys in the Hall of Fame. Carmelo Anthony, long gone. It's a new breed of players, and the NBA needs to promote these guys. And no better person to promote the game, to promote the sport, than the last guy, well, the last guy around, because Kobe took the torch from him, but Kobe's not here anymore. The last guy who took the torch from the standard bearers of the game before him and proudly rose the game even higher. Michael Jordan, as Sean said and many others, is here to save the NBA once again. And this time he's going to save it from what the guy on the left, with his selfishness and impulsiveness and narcissistic tendencies, have pretty much done to almost ruin it. Is Michael Jordan here to try to save the day once again. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.